Well, today what we are going to do, and by the way, yes, I am not taking my YouTube channel down. Not yet. A commonsensical view of this whole COPPA thing led me to believe that, in point of fact, I'm probably not at risk. But if you really want to understand why, go back to the previous video. Okay, so this shot was done quite some time ago. Can't remember if this was done in Krita or OpenTunes. So let's take a look here, actually. I don't know, the way that was, see that actually right there looks like what we're actually seeing is we're seeing through the imagery. Well, we would be if it was an image sequence. It's an AVI, so actually this is a black background. So that just means her eyes were not properly filled in when I did that shot. This has been quite some time ago. So what I'm thinking is the background, Mr. Big's not too bad. The thing I have an issue with is basically the same thing I've been dealing with on a lot of shots, which is Akari's characterization. It just doesn't really look like her. So let's first just let's jump into Krita and see if there is in fact a shot 75. And what we'll do is, well, there is a 75, so okay, there it is. That settles that. I was going to say, well, maybe I'll do the OpenTunes thing. Maybe I'll do the Krita thing. Given that the shot was done in Krita, I'm going to stick with Krita. And what I'm going to do is kill the background, which, okay, it looks like the bad guys are baked into it. And this, that's interesting. What the heck is that? It's like a, let's take a closer look. Can't remember what I did. Yeah, that actually just looks like a, this looks like going in Krita and patching what wasn't working previously with OpenTunes. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to be bold. Boom, boom. We're going to delete both of those completely and save it. Now there's no going back. Okay. But we do have the original AVI as a reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create another layer for Akari and put the bad guys back in, but turn their opacity way down so that we can just get the framing correct. So the important thing here is I want to work very fast and keep it fluid. So the interesting thing, I mean, when I say I want to work fast, I don't mean I want to allow myself to get sloppy. That's the problem. In the past, when I'm going fast, it's not a matter of just moving briskly so that when you see issues like right here, the characterization, the way I drew her head and her eyes, you know, you're moving fast and you say, well, as soon as I catch something that's not, you know, perfect, let's flag it right then and change it. And in that sense, you move quickly. What I've kind of done too much of in the past is the whole idea of moving quickly has manifested as wanting to get done or get some kind of success behind me. So what happens is I wind up with something that's less than awesome due to really just impatience. So that's what, if you've been following me, you know that's something I've been working on for quite some time. So what I'm looking at right now actually is I'm looking at the previous shots. Okay, so she actually looked pretty intense, and I believe the fire shot was, let's take a look here. So she's looking back. That shot's going to have to be redone eventually as well. Oh, that's right. This shot happens after he says good girl. So what we're doing effectively is we're going from this shot to this shot. Okay, so right there, trying to find my spots here. Hello? Okay, yeah. So there's one. Let's actually hit an M key for a marker. Okay, so the problem that we have is that we're actually going from this shot to this shot, which is the same, but we've got this transition where her expression is completely different. So let's fix that like right now. Okay, the reality is that, and again, we're going to work real quick here. We're going to keep this fluid and fun. If she was, in fact, looking the way she was, then I think we need to turn off the stabilizer. Okay. Then what would actually be going on is, here's football head. So, like I said, I want to just really keep this thing moving. And but yet, as I say, if there's anything that's really not right, let's grab it. Grab it quickly. Fix it. All right? Let's be picky. Picky, picky, picky. Okay, so so I reserve the right to obviously change my mind or make mistakes or do this over again. So, all right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here, and her head is turned left, so I have this correct. Obviously the canvas is flipped right now, but yeah, she would be turning right. And probably should have made a YouTube video. I actually did a portrait yesterday of a celebrity kind of person, and I kind of followed this idea of really trying to move quickly and but catch mistakes as early as possible, and it came out pretty well. I was surprised how well it did turn out, actually. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of sort of working. Okay, so now let's go back here. Okay, the characterization here is better, in my opinion, as far as how we've sort of really firmed up Akari's look. But she's looking back, and there's this idea of it darkening around her. So she's, in terms of acting, it's not too bad. So she's looking down to the right. Okay, so I think what we need to do is get from here to the what we saw in that other shot, right? So let's okay, so now I just really want to feel this. Okay, I want a little bit of attitude here in this shoulder. I want a little bit of the sense that her shoulders are tensed up a little bit. They're pushed upwards. Forgive me for. Okay, I'll switch. What I'm looking at here now is I'm looking at the last shot we would have seen. Okay, there her arm is up, still up. Here it's assumed that it's up, even though it's because it's really tight close up. So here, frankly, this shot is probably going to have to be redone, if only because what I really want to do is match the characterization I have here, and at the same time, really her hand should be up, her arm should be up right here, and the other ninjas should be back here in the background with the window. So definitely a bit problematic, but okay, that's all right. One problem at a time. Sorry. Hello. Okay, first thing let's do is hit the N key. Okay, so I actually have no idea what just happened. I dragged something, and Krita did something that I don't really have any idea how that just happened. It appears, that's really interesting. It appears the canvas got doubled in size, and I have absolutely no clue how. And it could be a software bug. So let's do this. Let's just kill Krita and reopen it real fast and see if anything has changed. Yeah, what are you going to do? Speaking of software, I need to post an update here soon. Okay, was it 75 we were working on? I have no idea. Yeah, it appears it was. Okay, so I just don't even know how I did that. But, okay. I think the quickest solution would be to go like this. Crop it. And save. Okay. Now we're back in business. Okay, so this is a Kari sketch. We'll call this sketch since it's going to be in a Control-G group, and the group is going to be the Akari group. Okay, and so now I'm not even going to mess with timing at all. What I'm going to do is hit Control-Insert, and then I'm just going to I assume I'm going to need at least one tween, but maybe two. So let's assume that we're going to put the tweens on 3s for the moment. Let's hit Insert here and Insert here. And actually, forget that. Let's take that out. That way we can, if we want to have onion skins, we can. Okay, so this now would... Okay. Now what I really want to see here, and let's just go ahead and turn the onion skins back off. I'm really trying to feel this. Okay. I want the point of her chin to be right there, okay. And of course she's got that kind of squarish jaw, and there's the pigtails. Okay, so this is where she's looking up. So the arc of her eye line would probably be something like that. Okay. And of course her bangs are always coming down over her eyes a little bit, so alright, so I'm just gonna actually and I'm gonna dupe this right now. Let's duplicate this and make one other change here, so I have a couple poses here to choose from. But what I really want to do here is get this down. Okay, so this is again just really trying to keep it moving fast. Okay. Alright, and the thing about this pose that's going to keep it interesting and I think make it good is going to be, let's just put in those eyes. Okay, it's kind of a worry kind of thing. Alright, so let's go back here and ask ourselves, if we went from this, it seems to me that she would be looking down. Let's just go ahead and keep doing what I'm doing. Let's keep putting in these eyes like this. We'll tighten them up here in a minute. No clue if this will work, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try, folks. Okay, so here we gotta get in the, I'm gonna hit the M key so I can flip it and just kind of check my work a little bit. That's a little too much on the whole sad look. I think that is too, actually. That's not too bad. Okay, so now where this is going to fall apart is, of course, the eyes. So let's deal with them now. I'll pull back a little bit. Okay, yeah, they feel a little too big. Yep, they are a little too big. I think I can just fix them. Okay, now let's just feel this. Boom. Okay. Really just trying to capture this expression of, you know, she's all in the space of a moment. She's got to decide, well, what am I going to do here? Am I going to fight? Am I going to... I think for me the big question would be, do I believe Mr. Big when he says that, you know, he's got her over a barrel right now because he has at least attempted to convince her that Zen's life is in danger, and the way that she's going to help him is by being compliant. So for me, a real key question here would be, is Mr. Big telling the truth? So for me, I'm wanting to see that decision-making process in her expression. So actually, I think this should be more like this type of a idea. Again, because of that, you know, what do I do? Do I trust this? I mean, obviously I don't trust this guy because he's a bad guy, but do I trust that under these circumstances he's actually telling me the truth? Now, this has not come up in conversation between me and Valerie, but I mean, for me, from an acting standpoint, it seems like you really want that in there. You want to feel that dilemma. And when she is sad-ish, what's really going on here is, and by the way, this eye's a little bit large. Okay, so now I better flip the canvas and see if it's like badly out of balance. Not too bad, little bit. And now I actually think, yes. Okay. Boom. Okay. So this is one of those places where it might be starting to fall apart a little bit. Not sure I got this quite right. No. Now, part of it could be just the difficulty of having her looking so, you know, down. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I actually think what needs to happen, I'm wanting to see this arc. What I'm really wanting to see is, okay, so there's that. Kind of this arc like that with her chin, you know, from a quote-unquote acting standpoint. Oops, I guess we don't need the red, do we? Although we could, but... Okay. I'm drawing the bangs here right away because I want to make sure that we're getting the head position really the way I'm wanting it. Basically, I kind of want a reverse of this, but a little bit of a 3/4 view, not a complete profile like that one. So, you know, that is a bit of a tricky pose. but I think I can do it. Okay, now the problem is pretty blatant. The whole head is kind of sort of in the wrong position, so okay, and this is kind of important. Okay, again, I'm not sure if I got it quite right, but this is the idea. In fact, I'm sure I don't have it quite right, but that's okay. Because the okay, so obviously this is in the wrong spot. Let's just go ahead and put it there. Boom, boom, boom. After I use the what do we call it? Freehand selection or outline selection tool, which I've mapped to the S key because that happens to be the same shortcut that it is in OpenTunes. But after I use it, I always use it and immediately follow it with the free transform tool. And the problem is, once you've done that, now you have a selection. So if you start drawing over here, but this was selected, all of a sudden you're like, why isn't my marker working? Alright. So you'll always have to hit Control-Shift-A to unselect everything after using the I forgot what it's called again, the outline selection tool. I think that's kind of a stupid name for the tool. Just my opinion. Okay, it's still too extreme. So, again, we're just going to liberally delete things. I'm going to actually get rid of all that. I'll know this when I see it. Okay, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to take this here. I'm beginning to doubt whether having the head go down so much is actually working. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let's do that, and now let's do this again. Nope, I want that to be not reversed. Yeah, okay. Alright, that's fine. Okay. It's another one of Krita's little fun things is it's extremely normal to hit the E key to erase and have the eraser not come on. That happens like all the time. Okay, so now what we need to do here is, if her neck is actually there, it's kind of interesting how, let's get rid of the stupid selection. Okay, yeah, so there's part of the problem. I'm going to trace that. I really didn't. Okay. Let's put this up a little higher. So now I'm going to hit the erase tool. One of the other things I bump into like all the time is that this pencil that I really like is there's opacity built into the pressure. So what happens is it feels, what's the word, fluid and natural to draw with. But then you hit erase and you have to sit here and scrub like for a week to get something to erase. And so I often switch to this pen, which is very opaque. There it just happened again. Except this time it didn't double the size of the canvas. Well, that's weird. So I guess what I did was, yeah, I guess I just did that. I don't know why the canvas got resized last time. That was weird. Okay, not horrible, but I do want to just kind of move this a little bit. I think that feels pretty good. Okay, and actually this works. If, and it's a big if, I'm going to go like this and erase these guys. So there's the debate going on in her mind. Yeah, and I'm not going to keep this. I'm just putting it in here for... Yeah, and that's too much of a move on the eyes. But that's okay. Let's just grab these guys, because this is just for... This is a rough for reference purposes. Okay, and then let's grab just this one alone. I mean, probably what we'll do is give her pupils on a separate layer anyway. Okay, so, and I think, actually, let's just keep going with this. I like the feeling that I'm getting from the acting, if you will. So let's take those eyeballs out of there. And let's do this, because as she's turning away, yeah, and the eyes would never get over to here. So let's just copy this. Let's just copy this. I hit the shift instead of control. And erase. See, it doesn't completely erase. Okay. Now we'll turn on the onion skin so we can just kind of make this a really subtle... What did that just do? Oh, that's to solo the layer. Not the dumbest idea ever. Yeah, I guess it'd be easier for y'all to see as well. Okay, so now... Okay, so now I want to rethink her mouth. So let's just go like this. I know it's anal, but I tend to get irritated with having to do 15 key... Well, okay, to be accurate, it's not 15. It's like 4 key presses. Okay. that will obviously not be being duplicated. Okay, so okay, maybe her her face might be just a little too tall. Not quite sure. Here, this isn't exactly wrong, but I have been liking Akari better when I run the mouth just a little lower. Yeah, a little lower on the head. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to my reference material a little bit here. And I'm kind of going way back. Actually, and I could take you guys over here too. I actually did this shot yesterday. It's a redo of an old shot where the characterization, well, it's not that old of a shot. I actually redid it and went back a couple days later and what was I thinking? Because I just did not get the characterization right. So this is better. So basically, taking that as a reference point, and I want to, by the way, yeah, I probably want to go like that, where her eyes are a little wider. And I think we're in good shape. I'll do. Oh, come on. I don't want that. Okay, so the question was simply this. Is her, I would say the previous frame is probably okay. What I'm wondering is, let's just see what happens. I would say this is probably a good decision, I think. Okay. Bad boo-boo. I missed one. Okay, so question, is the real issue that, or is the real issue that just the eyes need to be slid down a bit? Let's just see what happens too if we shrink them a tiny bit. Kinda, sorta, maybe. Okay, and obviously there's going to be some variation amongst these frames, but that's okay. The main thing is to get the proportions right. So now let's deselect this. Let's give ourselves a really big brush. That's an eraser. And go through and start cleaning up the garbage here. Okay, so what's bugging me? I know what's bugging me. Okay, and let's flip it. Okay, yeah. Just feel like this is just too aggressive. Okay. I'm not going to bother redrawing that. There's no point. Excuse me. I know. I just belched at my YouTube audience. Okay, so she looks back and forth, and now I'm skipping forward over here in the... Okay. So now the question for me becomes, am I missing the sort of blubbery thing? Well, let's find out. Let's put it in there. I keep hitting R or E and nothing happens. I hate that. Okay. Sorry, not trying to be too cranky here, folks. Okay. Okay, and here, let's just grab this for us so we can get a proper erase happening. So another thing that's bugging me is her eyes just seem a little demonic. Mm-hmm. Okay, and just for kicks and giggles, I will try to trace a duplicate in here. So this was originally done, I think it was on ones, but so we'll just grab a whole batch of these and duplicate them just to see how it feels. Okay, so let's turn the onion skins back off and let's solo this layer. Yeah, okay. Apparently 2s would have been better. Apparently 2s would have been better. So obviously there's no... Okay, this is not bad. Except the one thing in the old shot that I liked was the way she looked up. With the chin up kind of thing. Yep, I don't like these. They're not as effective. So we got these expressions that we may or may not use. Her eyes can dart. And then let's just go make a duplicate here. And we're going to do a completely new drawing of Akari. Okay. And we want to be not in selection mode. Okay, there's the chin. Okay. Okay, so now what will remain unchanged is the jawline. So this is where it's a little tricky, because if I'm not careful, this will not look like Akari. And it's not like that hasn't happened 800 trillion times before, so. But all we can do is try. All we can do is try. Okay. So let's just go ahead and put in, eyeball shapes actually. And I'm kind of referring to the, so now I just kind of feel like this was something I got right in the old version of this, so. So we'll see. It might not work. Okay, now we got to get our little trapezoidal effect. Golly, I did it again, man. I made her eyes too big. The stupid thing about it is, I used to always make her eyes too small. And I sort of learned to correct that. And now I do the opposite and always make her eyes too doggone big. Okay, not sold on this, so let's go boom, boom, Control Shift A, B key. Yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it. There, we got it. Well, the positioning of her mouth is, I said nose because I was starting to draw the nose. It just changes her look so much when the mouth is just a little bit lower. She does look somewhat like Korra, I will admit that. That was not really my intent, but Korra is the same way in that she has a low hanging mouth. So we'll just kind of give this a little bit of flumpy bumpy. You're going, what the heck is flumpy bumpy? Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. That's okay. Okay, so let's take this key out completely because it's really redundant. I mean, when the time comes, we're just gonna... Okay, so you can see what the problem is. Essentially, her head just shrank. The overall look and characterization is not too bad, but it did shrink a bit. So let's try that. Okay. So now let's pull away in here and look at, okay, yeah. Okay, now we got to get the... Just hitting the wrong keys here, folks. Yeah, okay, this will work, I think. Pretty sure it's going to work. Yeah. This is where she's really got to ask herself, what are you going to do? Because you get the decision wrong, and it could cost the life of someone you care about, right? Okay, and then this is on 2, so we'll just duplicate it, erase this, and redraw it in. Okay, let's make that a little too much wiggle. Yeah, that's too Charlie Brown. So I'm going to actually try to trace it so that you get really as little change as possible. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So we got... Okay, so we're going to need a tween to get to that. And... Okay, so first let's just start by taking this whole thing in. Boom. Okay, let's get this way the heck out of here. Maybe move that downstream. Let's see. Yeah, actually, I like that. So this effectively acts as a tween for this. And this shot we can get rid of, because actually all we're going to do here is just we're just going to move her eyes. That's it. That's all we're doing. So let's do that, and then I'm going to call it time to take a break. Okay, and I would say I've changed my mind. I like that, and I don't like that. I think it's too weak. So I'm getting rid of it. Gone forever. So there she is. These guys. Oh yeah, I think we're in solo mode. Boom. Okay. So she's going to be like... Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that expression better. So, okay, that's it. We will do ink and paint in the next video, and that's it. We are not taking the channel down at this point. As you know, there will be more later.